Everything seemed normal that morning at the company, but no one imagined that this would be the day that changed everything, and not for the better. Valeria arrived on time, as always, carrying a stack of folders that weren't her responsibility. She walked quickly, greeting with a faint smile those who looked at her with contempt or simply ignored her. "Hey, Valeria," one of the executives shouted from his office. "Where's the coffee I asked for half an hour ago? Or are you just here to decorate?" She left the folders on her desk and hurried to the makeshift break room at the back of the office, where the smell of burnt coffee was constant. As she poured the drink, she sighed deeply, trying to stay on her feet despite the exhaustion. "And don't forget to review the sales department reports," another voice yelled. "I don't care that it's not your department, just do it now." She nodded without arguing, knowing that saying anything would only make it worse. She took the coffee and walked toward the office, enduring the comments that flew her way. "Look at how hard she tries," a coworker whispered mockingly. "She thinks that's how she'll get promoted, as if she has a future here," another replied. "She's only here because she accepted a miserable salary. She must be up to her neck in debt." Valeria heard everything but kept going. She delivered the coffee and went to the conference room, where another executive tossed a folder full of papers at her. "Fix this. It's full of mistakes, and hurry up. I need it in an hour." She looked at the contents. It wasn't hers. It belonged to the head of marketing, but she knew she couldn't refuse. "Sir, I think this belongs to the marketing department. Am I asking you where it's from? Just do it. If you can't handle the job, there are plenty of people out there who can." She pressed her lips together and sat at her desk, reviewing every line as the clock ticked. Her fingers moved quickly over the keyboard, trying to avoid mistakes. "Did you know she stayed until 10 last night?" Another employee commented with a laugh. "How pathetic. She must enjoy suffering. May she thinks they'll notice her," another replied. "Poor thing. No one's told her that the only people who matter here are the ones with the right last name." The mockery was constant. Valeria turned in her work on time, covered shifts that weren't hers, and yet, she never received a word of recognition. Only more tasks and more humiliation. The day before, they had even asked her to clean the conference room after a meeting. "You're the most available," they told her. That afternoon, as she ate a sandwich at her desk, the main boss approached her. "Eating here again? What a lack of class and respect." "I'm sorry, sir. I'm just finishing some reports." "You always have an excuse. Maybe that's why you're not getting anywhere." She lowered her gaze, feeling rage burn in her chest, but she said nothing. "Also, I want you to prepare a presentation for tomorrow. Something impactful and perfect. If not, you know what will happen." Valeria nodded without complaining. Inside, she just wished for the day to be over, not knowing that the worst was yet to come. At the end of the day, when she thought she could finally leave, they called her to the main office. She entered, her heart racing. Inside were the three main executives, all with strange smiles. "Valeria, have a seat," one said. She obeyed, nervous. "We've been reviewing your performance, and honestly, we're not satisfied. But I've completed all my tasks, even more than what's required of me." "That's the problem," another interrupted. "You're not focused. You try to do everything, and in the end, nothing gets done well." "But sir, I've only followed instructions. Are you contradicting me now?" The main boss raised his voice. "Look, we don't want to make this any more difficult than it has to be. You're fired." A crushing silence fell over the room. Valeria was in shock. "I'm sorry?" she asked in a low voice. "There's nothing more to discuss. Pack your things and go. We don't want a scene or an explanation. Here, you don't owe explanations, only obedience." One of the executives let out a laugh. "And hurry up. We don't want to see you tomorrow, or ever again." She stood up, trembling. She walked out of the office toward her desk, all eyes on her, some with mockery, others with indifference. "What happened, Valeria?" a coworker asked with a fake smile. "Are you going on vacation?" "Something like that," she replied as she put her things in a box. As she left, the boss's laughter echoed behind her. "Goodbye, Valeria. Thanks for nothing." She gripped the box tightly, tears beginning to well up in her eyes. She walked to the elevator, trying not to break down. One of the security guards opened the door for her, looking at her with compassion. Another one. This never ends. She just nodded, not knowing that her departure would mark the beginning of the end for them. Valeria walked aimlessly, the box in her arms, her mind filled with memories that hurt like stab wounds. She thought about every day she had endured, every humiliation disguised as teamwork. But today, no more. She took out her phone and dialed a number she almost never used. On the other end, a deep voice answered. All she said was, "It happened." The voice didn't hesitate. "Don't worry, daughter. I'll take care of it now." Meanwhile, back in the office, the atmosphere was a private party of ego and arrogance. The executives were celebrating as if they had won a war. "We finally got rid of her," one said, raising his glass. "Now, it's only high-level people here. Did you see how her eyes filled with tears?" Another added, "Pathetic. She'll probably beg to come back, but there's no room for mediocrity here." Laughter filled the conference room, echoing throughout the office. Some employees just watched in silence, knowing they could be next. No one knew that the real game was just about to begin. The building's main door opened. A luxury car parked right out front. From inside stepped a man with impeccable bearing, a serious gaze, and a firm stride. No one dared to stop him as he entered. "Good afternoon," the man said to the guard. "I've come to see how you destroy companies from the inside." The guard swallowed hard, recognizing the face immediately. He nodded and let him pass. He went up in the elevator. Each floor he passed was a countdown. Meanwhile, the executives continued their toast. "To our corporate vision," one said. "Cleaning the company of useless people gives us power. We don't need more like her. Let her find a job worthy of her level." They had no idea that the worst was yet to come, and it was closer than they imagined. The elevator stopped. The doors opened. The man entered, imposing. Everyone in the office turned to look at him. The silence was instantaneous. "Who is this guy?" one asked in a low voice. "I have no idea, but he looks like he has money," another whispered. The man headed straight for the main office. He opened the door without knocking. The executives looked at him, surprised and annoyed. "Excuse me, this is a private meet, I know. That's why I'm here." The man placed a thick folder and a golden envelope on the table. No one moved. "Who are you?" the main boss asked. "I'm the person who just bought this company." Silence. The boss stood up nervously. "This must be a mistake." "No, the mistake was yours, when you fired Valeria." The faces of the three of them changed instantly, pale and sweaty. "She didn't have a future here," one tried to justify. "She didn't fit in with the team. She didn't fit in because she was too valuable to be surrounded by trash." The man took out his tablet and played a video. The security cameras, the humiliation, the laughter, everything was recorded. "You see this? Every second, every laugh, every word." "I saw it all." One of them tried to interrupt. "Sir, it was a misunderstanding. Really, I don't want excuses. I want you to sign your resignations now." He took out 3 papers and placed them in front of them. "If you don't, I will make this video public. No one in this industry will ever hire you again." One of the executives broke down nervously. "You can't do this. I have 20 years in this company, and they end today. Because I can, and I will." The 3 of them signed, with no other choice. Trembling hands, lost gazes. "Leave. Take your things and your arrogance with you." They left with their heads bowed, ignored by everyone, as if they had never existed. The man went out to the lobby and called his daughter. Valeria entered, looking at the place as if seeing it for the first time. She went up to the top floor, walked down the hallway where she used to only receive orders. Now, everyone looked at her with respect or fear. She entered the main office. Her father was waiting for her. "All of this is yours now." She took a deep breath, feeling the justice in the air. She looked out at the city from the window, with tears in her eyes, but this time, they were tears of relief. "Never again," she whispered. "I will never again allow anyone to be humiliated." Her father hugged her. "Sometimes, life pays you back." daughter, and you deserved so much more than what they gave you. Outside, the former employees gathered their belongings in the rain. Their power was gone. Their world had collapsed. And you who are watching this, remember, never underestimate a humble person. Justice sometimes arrives disguised as patience. Give this a like if you also believe that humility is worth more than 1,000 expensive suits. Subscribe to the channel for more stories that don't just entertain, but also leave a mark.